Yo YouTube, this is my video for Monday the 11th of August and the time now is 10 to 8 and this is the job that I was given on Friday, which is picking up from Wisbech and going to Newport in Shropshire. It is a long wheelbase van job, going 139 loaded miles, and I got this job for £160, 160, which is a very nice start to my day and my week. Now, last week I was really pleased with it, and I had a really good Monday, and I think that might be the key for me to relaxing into this job. Is smashing a Monday and getting loads of money to pay for my business costs, and then the rest of the week is for my income. So I'm going to try and do that again today. If it's a long day, it's a long day. I'm going to try and get an equivalent amount of money after fuel that I did last week, which was £215. Now it's a long shot, to be fair, and if I don't do it, I'm not going to worry too much about it. It's not really a proper goal, but just something to aim for today, to sort of compare it to last week. And if I do that today, then I'll be thinking, oh, maybe this week can be the same as last week. The whole thing is highly unlikely, but just keeps my brain occupied, just something to do. So I'm on my way to Wisbech now. I'm about 25 minutes away from the pickup. And yeah, I'll let you know how today goes. Cheers. It is now 1:05. I offloaded my first delivery in just outside of Newport at 5 to 12, so that was an hour and 10 minutes ago. I brought myself to this sort of collection of supermarkets on a sort of crossroads of some main roads, the A41. Over the years I've learnt some stuff about doing this job, and there's some things I have no extra insight in. I'm going to tell you both those things now. The first thing is I got a job, I bid on a job which was going from sort of Shrewsbury to Telford, and I put a bid on £60. It was quite a high bid, and then after I bid on it I had a look at the shipper and the feedback, and it was the same shipper that had the really bad feedback last week that I talked about. So I immediately cancelled that bid, and I thought I'm not going to work for that shipper because of the feedback only. The job itself was okay, it would have been alright, but in the past I would have gone with that, I would have left it in place. A minute later they called me, and I explained to them I couldn't do the job because of the feedback, and then that was the end of that conversation. The other thing that I haven't learned, so what I've learnt about is to be a bit more selective about who I work with, and that's, I think I've found that would just help me. Another example of that is I don't tend to work for people that put all their loads as backloads. If it says backload, I'm not going to bid on it. If I do bid on it, because let's say I had a backload job, but I was really close to it, it was a long distance, I'd put my own normal bid on, just ignore the backload bit. But generally, if it says backload, I don't like working for those bits of people. And also, I don't tend to work for people who say call me. I've tried calling and never either get through, or when I do get through, the bid job's always gone. So I don't tend to bother bidding on people who say only calls. So that's my experiences of what I will and won't do. Now the insight I have no greater insight in it now than I ever did when I started was the situation I'm in today. I'm in Newport. I'm about 40 minutes from Shrewsbury, Whitchurch, Stafford, Cannock, Wolverhampton, Telford's a bit closer. So going around me, there's a reasonable number of places, and I've put a map up of the drivers that are around with me. I'm quite isolated where I am, but I've got quite good access to those places. Now the problem I have is, I was there for an hour, and I thought, well, I've got to start moving at some point. And the first thing is, I'm not going to worry if a job comes up in Newport now. That sometimes does happen. It's just a look at the draw. My question is, do I head north towards the northwest, or perhaps towards Stoke, or do I head south towards Birmingham, the west of Birmingham? And I really wasn't sure, and I don't have an insight now as to which way to go in this thing. For me, I tempted to go north towards sort of Crewe, Whitchurch, northwest, because I tend to find there's less drivers sort of that far away from the northwest. But today I've done something very different. I've made a decision today, and I've regarded it as being quite a high gamble, and I'm going to explain what that is. I'm going to head now specifically towards, or to, Kings Wingford, which is DY6 postcode, I think. It's definitely DY postcode. And that just struck me as being the thing I should try today, which is not what I thought I would do. I was definitely looking towards Stafford and going up towards the northwest. But today, a few factors made me think about this. There are jobs from Kings Wingford that go quite long distances. Be that sort of, I don't know, Norwich, Hull, London, sort of my side of the country. So any of those from Kings Wingford I would take. So there are jobs that come out. They tend to be engineering jobs, and so they're always sort of small van jobs. So I can always take them on my van. The second thing that made me think that is I put a bid on a job that's going from Kings Wingford to, let's say, Chelmsford. It wasn't Chelmsford, but somewhere more on the coast of Essex. I can't remember the name. It gives it S. Southend, maybe. It might be Southend. And I put a bid on it, but I was 45 minutes away from Kings Wingford. So I'm probably not going to get that job because I'm so far away. So I thought, well, if I get myself closer to that place, then there will be, if it just come up, I'll have more of a chance of getting them. I don't mind going reasonably cheap for that sort of distance, because then I'll just go home afterwards dead. And then the next point was, Kings Wingford takes me away from where all the drivers I think are in this area, which is sort of Wolverhampton, Wivenhall, Cannock, sort of Birmingham. It takes me a bit further to the south-west of Birmingham, not just to the west of Birmingham. Between Telford and Birmingham, I think it's packed full of drivers. If I stay where I was, I've got to compete for jobs with all those drivers between me and sort of Kings Wingford. So I thought, let me just take a risk and go beyond them to the DY postcode. And then the last two thoughts were, if I do that as a strategy, I'm actually going a little bit closer to home rather than a little bit further away from home. So if it all falls apart, I'm saving myself at least a bit of hassle later on in the day. And my last thought is, if I stick around the area and Kings Wingford and nothing else goes right, I've always got my mum to visit, which I haven't done for a while now. So that was kind of the clincher of like the pros and cons in my head. Pros, work from Kings Wingford for long distance. Pros, a bit closer to home. Pros, close to my mum. The cons, I've got no guarantee of a job at all, and there are lots of drivers around, but I've got no guarantee whether they'll go north of having the same issue. So I definitely thought, let's just go for it, make a decision, go for it. And I'm not saying it's based on any sort of experience or insight. It is not. It's basically me rolling the dice, trying to make something happen. And I'm hoping that the closer I get to Kings Wingford, the more chance I've got to get a job from there or that area. Last point, it's really hot today for me. It's 28 degrees at the moment. I'm so hot. I do not like it. I've got some frozen water left, so I can drink, but I'm going to run out of that quite soon. So I'm pleased to be on the road. My first job was good. I made contact with that first shipper and just said, if you get any more jobs like that, I'll do them for you again in the future. And he said he would let me know. Update time. I drove 20 minutes south towards Kings Wingford, or thereabouts, and then I stopped for a bit and looked at jobs. And then a job came up from Newport going to Bradford, and it was loaded at 1:50, which was 2 hours after I arrived in Newport originally. So it would have been an ideal job for me to do if I'd still been there. But as it was, I'd driven actually a bit further than that, maybe half an hour away. And I have decided, rather than me looking for jobs now, to get me sort of towards home or somewhere else. I'm going to stop looking for jobs. I'm half an hour away from my mum, so I'm going to visit them and then give them an hour or so, and then I'll look for jobs heading back home from about 3:30 onwards. Which makes a lot more sense than me trying to find a job right now and then trying to also fit in visiting my mum. So I'm just going to try and prioritise the visit first, no job looking, and then at the end of the day or end of the afternoon, looking for jobs then. And we'll see how that goes. Cheers. Hello there, YouTube. I've just left my mum's house. It's now about 4:30. There's not a lot of jobs going on, so I'm just going to start dawdling home. But I thought that I would just take a bit of a video of the area that my mum lives in. This is the area that I grew up from about the age of 12, 13 onwards. We lived on a farm in a village between Kidderminster and Bromsgrove. And it's a lovely part of the country. I really like it here. It's hilly, unlike where I live now. And it's really got very nice memories. I used to come jogging down this road when I was part of the football club, the local football club. I'd come down here, take a left at this junction, go back around and back all the way, like a big triangle backwards. So it's got lots of memories here. The only problem with this area is it's very expensive compared to where I live, so I can't really afford to move back, particularly not on same day courier wages. But it's nice to come and visit, and sort of I'm glad I've got this base here to come back to. It has some stability for me in my life and has some good memories. So yeah, I'm on my way home. I'll look for jobs on my way back, but probably unlikely I'm going to get anything now. I'm going to assume that I won't get anything, and so I'm going to assume that today's been a bit of a write-off now. But that's my own choice, wasn't it? I chose to do that, and I don't regret it. I think it was nice to have that catch-up. So I won't do any stats today. If I do any stats at all, I'll do a quick ticker tape over this video. But I'm going to assume this is the end, and I'm back at work on Wednesday. I may have some news on Wednesday about my health update. Depends how it goes tomorrow. If this is the end, thank you very much for watching my video. I hope that you are all being successful. And I'll see you on Wednesday. Farewell, friends.